So here's another little usability thing. I'm happily adding these away. I add another one. I submit, and I kind of get no visual feedback that it worked because it's all the way at the bottom, right? So one way we could overcome this is to add them to the top instead of the bottom. Did anybody happen to do this? Kind of mentioned it as we were walking out the door. What? Did you? Did you add them to the top of the list instead of the bottom? Yeah. So how'd you do it? Let's talk DOM first instead of the array. So what we're doing right now is append child. Let me ask you this. If you were designing this API and you had something called append child that added it to the end, how would you make it add to the beginning? What's the opposite of append? Yeah. Wouldn't that have been nice? Yeah, it would have. Cool. Yeah, prepend child is not there. There is one called prepend, but if we look that up, yeah, it's barely supported. Yep, it's going to tell you. Let's just look that up real quick. It's going to scare you. An experimental technology. Check the compatibility table. Okay, no support in Internet Explorer or Edge or most mobile. Yeah, Android Web View, Safari Mobile. Yeah, let's not. Not widely enough supported yet. So what did you use? Did you use that? What did you do? No, I did insert before. So that's been around a long time. So let's look up how that works. Gosh, dang you. Not you, you're fine. Inserts the specified node before the reference node as a child of the current node. Let's look at the syntax and see if we can unpack what the heck all those mean. Okay, so the parent node, the thing you want to insert it into, right? In our case, the list is the parent, right? Clear enough. Insert before, and then the first argument is the new node. So far, so good, right? So instead of append child, we'll say this.list, insert before, and it's the list item, the one we want to add, right? Next, the reference node, the one it goes before. If it's null, it'll insert it at the end. So, which one do we want to put it before? The first one, right? So how do we figure that out? How did you figure that out? What? Yeah, Alex?
Whatever so parent node firstChild.
Yep. So the list is the parent in this case, right? Thankfully, there's a really easy way to get the first thing in there. First child. There's also first element child. What do you think the difference is? First child versus first element child. Well, as you might expect, first element child gives you the first child that is an element. But what else could a child be? What other things have we added to the DOM other than elements? Yes, exactly. Text. So if the very first thing inside there is a text node, first element child will not return that. First child will. First child will return the first thing, regardless of whether it was text or an element. In this case, if there were some text inside this UL before the first li, maybe that would be some sort of description for the reader or something. So maybe we do want it to just go before the first element child. I think that's fine. First element child or first child, either one will work. So the parent, insert before, thing we're inserting, thing it goes before, which in this case, since we're adding it to the front, is whatever is currently the first thing in the list. I don't have to refresh. Bad boys. Bad boys. 2 on top. But what about our array? It's still at the end, right? We didn't change how we're doing that. So push adds to the end. What adds to the beginning? That's a totally legit guess. You could do that. There's one that truly just adds something to the front of an array. No, I mean you wouldn't know this unless you knew it. It's unshift. So what the heck's up with that? Well, what does shift mean? Shift method removes the first element from an array. So unshift adds it. So in that sense, what's the opposite of push on an array? Pop, right? Push adds it to the end, pop removes it from the end. Shift removes it from the beginning, unshift adds it to the beginning. So unshift is what we want here. So if we do that, let's try again. The rock. Transdorfers. App.flicks. Square bracket 0. Transdorfers. Our data and our presentation match.
What about the IDs?
The IDs are still implementing.
Yeah. I don't think the ID is a problem just yet.
You can honestly swap that by
I mean, it's just gonna. I mean, I don't think we have a problem. Let's have a look. So this is the first thing on there, and it has an ID of 2, and the other one should have an ID of 1. And if we look, okay, so Transdorfers we see as ID 2. If we inspect the LI, it has an ID of 2, so they match. I mean, the number is not supposed to be the order necessarily. They're just all supposed to have a unique one. So I don't think adding it to the beginning causes a problem for us. Deleting one from the middle may cause us a problem sooner or later. Yeah.
This is a side note. Does LiveSync add any sort of files to the working directory?
Not if you did npm install -g as opposed to npm install. The live server?
No, I added it, and it adds stuff.
Yeah, I don't. That depends on the one you use. So I believe you. But no, let's have a look here. I put all that stuff there. Yeah. Nope. Live server doesn't pollute your project. So what did we just do? Oh yeah, add it to the beginning instead of the end, right? Add flicks to the beginning rather than the end.